Hey guys, I want to make a quick video hyping skitterbots. Skitterbots is an aura which I think is meant to be for traps and mines. However, I think it can be used on almost any builds, and this one is my popcorn SRS build. Popcorn meaning I'm using minion instability. And when you use minion instability, you don't really benefit from other auras, so you want to debuff enemies. Yeah, basically just debuff enemies, make them take increased damage like shock, which is why I started using skitterbots. And skitterbots shock nearby enemies and chill them, and shock is 20%. Shock is 20% increased damage taken, and with levels we also get increased shock effect. So we're actually currently giving me 22% increase, 22% more damage basically. And let me just show you how it looks. They are very fast moving, and they do seem to have pretty good AoE, so you can see they are already shocked. Shocked and chilled. And chill slows enemies' action speed. And things like Impulsa's Broken Heart. I believe with Impulsa's Broken Heart you could do a massive chain explosions, because Impulsa itself cannot shock. However, Skitterbot shock. So Skitterbot shocks Impulsa. When you kill enemies, it explodes, and those other enemies are shocked no matter what, because Skitterbots, and Impulsa would just blow up everything. Another thing, for example, Righteous Fire. It could also buff Righteous Fire damage, because shock is pretty powerful, and some uniques also benefit from shock. And from chill, it's basically guaranteed chill no matter the damage done on them. So you can even use hypothermia, bone chill. Actually, bone chill probably doesn't work with skitterbots. I haven't tried it. Skitterbots only reserve 35% of your mana, so you can use it instead of some other auras. Like if you cannot squeeze in 50% aura reservation, you could use skitterbots instead and still get like over 20% more damage. Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe you could link the Bone Chill and Innervate, which would also improve the shock effect, which would also give you more damage. It wouldn't affect from the passive skill tree, because it's not your shocks and it's minion shocks, so you would only have to link it with something. Since this is minion instability build, I don't benefit from normal auras, so later on I will be using Venomous Weave if I can get my hands on it. Well, aspect of the spider, but it's like mini aspect of the spider. It gives you damage and it slows enemies down, and if I can get aspect of the spider, it's gonna like double diff on that. So and yeah, like shock increases all the damage enemies take from all sources, from degen, from hits, from minions. Also, I don't know how about you, but I'm not really too hyped about this blight mechanic and tower defense. I was hyped for it, but when I tried it, yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it's not really, it doesn't feel challenging. I mean, you not feel in danger, kind of. It just kind of feels stressful for me when you have to manage all the towers, and I know I don't have a very good opinion about the blight just yet, but maybe that's gonna change later once I get to maps. So yeah, I just wanted to make this quick video hyping the skitterbots, and I'm probably gonna be using them on many other builds. Like even on poison builds, you just get more damage. Like you use Malevolence, and then what else you can use on poison builds? Not that many things actually, and then you just use skitterbots. You shock nearby enemies. Some unique also, like Impulsa and was it Barracks Rings interacted with shock or chill. You can have reliable chill, so use hypothermia on your main setups. Now quickly a bit my build that I'm doing. Like this is I guess a pretty standard popcorn SRS build. They use minion instability and make them degen, and I'm using this new Infernal Legion support gem, which drains 40% of their life per second and deals fire damage to. It's like minion Righteous Fire, but it doesn't stack, so multiple minions don't do more damage with that. but it's pretty noticeable damage. I could only summon one. That's my unleash. I'm gonna see the damage. Zip. It just drains very fast, so it's pretty cool, and you can probably build very comfortably around the Infernal Legion jewel, but this is not what I'm doing. I'm just doing this for the minion stability. So it drains minion life, and I'm also using Malgaro's Lens with Necromantic Aegis, so we have less fire res and more AoE and more life, so we just die fast. And I also bought the Sketon's Scepter, which I'm probably gonna be replacing. I don't know if I'm gonna be using Sketon's later. I want to focus mainly on SRS. But as you can see, I also gave Infernal Legion to Skeleton, so we basically instantly explode. Let me show you their life. Nice, this one. Let's see. So you can see how fast their life drains. I will probably be getting a bit of minion regen and minion elemental resistances, because there are some good nodes that give minion life along with minion regen. So, but hopefully it's not gonna be too bad. SRS don't really die fast. Yeah. I may be getting Tabukai Amulet if I can afford it, but the current prices are pretty high because it only comes from Legion, so we'll see about that. But so far it's going pretty well. The damage is fine. I don't even have Elemental Equilibrium yet. I don't have Venomous Sweep, like I said, or just Aspect of the Spider. But yeah, the damage is fine for now. And that's gonna be it for this short video. I'm probably gonna make an updated video in like 2-3 days. We'll see, maybe with the full build guide video, but I'm not really in a hurry to do the build. Just taking it slow and exploring. Like I said, I'm not too interested in tower defense, but we'll see, maybe it gets better in maps. So that's gonna be it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Hey guys, so Legion is ending soon, new league is starting soon, so I want to kind of go over my previous builds and kind of rate them. And I'm gonna be rating like most versatile, most regen build, biggest damage, most speedy, which you probably see right now, coolest mechanic, most challenging build, and then most slowing effect builds. So it's kind of a variety of builds, and I did like 17 builds this league only compared to previous leagues, so it's not that much. But I'm not gonna mention all the builds. I'm just gonna mention the one that has like the most something, and it's not gonna be rated among all the possible builds. It's just gonna be rating my own builds that I did during Legion. So I'm gonna start with the most versatile build, which is Earthquake Jug, which is also the most viewed video during the Legion for me. And this build was surprising because, well, it's actually the most versatile because it just can do everything, including Uber Aziri, Uber Elder. I did Uber Elder multiple times on this one, which is not really common to me. Map clear speed is surprisingly fast despite it being very slow, or at least it feels like it's slow, but it hits such a big screen that it basically one-shots all the enemies. But as you can see, the map clear is pretty good. And you can see I'm tanking Minotaur, so it can tank despite not having too much life, but it does have mitigation, it does have clear speed, it does have everything that you need, and it's not that expensive, and it uses Maroge Mall, so it's decent for league start as well. Now the next one is the most recent one, and it is Dark Pact using the Agnostic Keystone from the Legion Jewels. And this one was very surprising, and I rate it as a most regen build because I think I never had that much regen, and in fact when I take the damage I even heal more when I take the damage from. So I can even face tank Chimera, Minotaur until a certain point. As you can see, I'm about to tank Chimera's Smoke Clouds, and I'm taking like no damage and not even using Life Flask. So this build had insane regen. The more damage I take, the more regen I get, until a certain point, of course. Well, Dark Pact was not the best skill to be used, and I wanted to bring more attention to this video because of the mechanic itself, because I think it's one of the coolest mechanic that I did this league for any build. because of how the region worked, and it was pretty complicated. If I can show you the graph, I even made like a chart or whatever you call it to see how exactly the damage flow works and how exactly I'm regioning. And actually you can use it for any other builds, not just for Dark Pact, but since the Dark Pact consumes life, so it was pretty interesting to try it with that. And also this is one of the videos that I think YouTube didn't really push to all the subscribers, so if you missed this video, definitely do check it out, because I also did integrated sponsored content inside this video about the game, which I think you're gonna like it as well, because I really got addicted to that game as well. So yeah, do check out this video, and let's move on to the next one. So next one is Self-Cast Discharge, and I rated this as a biggest damage in a single hit. I think I was hitting for like 4 million damage in a single discharge, and it had a cool intro. So this build, it's kind of reminiscent from the old school when you would do the self-cast discharge, and I haven't really done a proper discharge build in ages, so I wanted to do something with it, and I ended up doing this monster. This is actually lighting version, just focusing on power charges. I think I had 10 power charges. Yeah, it wasn't the most tankiest build, but it was definitely fun and pretty viable for endgame bosses. I believe I did Uber Elder with this as well. Oh, I was even able to stun Shaper out of his slam, stun Uber Elder out of his slam right here. Boom, got stun and didn't slam. So the build hits like a truck. So let's move on to the next build. Next build is what I would call Too Fast, Too Furious. It's basically a speedy berserker with spectral throw. And this build actually was using Vulcanus daggers, which is considered to be kind of a bad weapon, but it's actually, I think, is very underrated. And I was doing more than 1 million DPS per spectral throw, which is more than most of the spectral throw builds, I think, but it is a conditional damage, so you don't benefit from it all the time. For me, it was too fast, like literally too fast. You don't see it being too fast right now because I was trying to move slower, but the faster I move, it becomes harder to position yourself properly. And also because of all the flashes, it's kind of hard to see what's happening, especially in certain maps. Annoying part was because it's Berserker. I think I just hate Berserker. You get rage stacks and then you start losing rage stacks, and it's annoying that you lose most of the damage from it, and then you have to either swap the belt, use the movement ability to stop the losing rage stacks, and positioning yourself is also very important. If you have the skills to and I guess reaction to move fast and react fast and aim fast, then this build will definitely destroy some serious shit. So I want to show you an example of how positioning properly is very important with this, because using slower projectiles, you want... See, I'm not actually reaching the boss, and I'm wasting so much damage during that time. So if you can position yourself properly, you're gonna do a lot of damage with this build, but it's not, I think, for everyone. It does feel satisfying to map with it, but bossing was kind of iffy. Next one is not exactly about the build, but I'm gonna talk about the build as well. This is one of the coolest mechanic I discovered during Legion, and this was with the self-poison sextant mods. Because when you, for each poison stack on yourself, you get movement speed and you get damage. And as you can see, it just becomes insane. I think I got over 4000% increased movement speed, not to mention the damage. And I also have the side-to-side comparison of the speed. And the Minotaur, I was running tier 16 maps, farming tier 16 maps with this in the like less than a minute, but it becomes insanely fast, insane damage. You basically even just touch the tier 16 boss, move away, boss dies. It had that much damage, and this was actually using Poison Blade Vortex Assassin. And as you know, in Blight, poisons are gonna be much better, so I assume this build and this mechanic is gonna become much more relevant and much more used. Surprisingly, it didn't kind of took off, and people are still kind of sleeping on this mechanic, but I think it's one of the coolest mechanic that I saw from the Legion. Now the next one, I kind of call it the most popcorn build. It's not really the most at anything. I just want to bring attention because minions are gonna be strong next league, and especially minion instability builds because of all the changes. So currently some raging spirits are a bit clunky to play with, especially with the popcorn build, because they target random targets, but in Blight you will be able to use a support gem to mark the target, so they would all fly to that target and reach minion stability threshold and just pop. And this is using the unique jewel to drain their life, but you can also do the skeletons popcorn build, which is probably a bit simpler to do it, and you only need 1 or 2 unique weapons for that. And the popcorn skeleton build is a bit smoother. You can use it with unleash, and you summon I believe up to 12 at once, while SRS isn't as viable, I guess, for popcorns, but it's an idea, and it's gonna be much smoother because of the new support gems that drain minion life as well, and deals like it works like a righteous fire for your minions. It drains their life and deals damage to surrounding targets. So actually for SRS it could be good with the aggressive SRS. We would fly around to all the random targets, and that could be a good clear speed as well, and they're gonna pop much faster if you also support them with that righteous fire support gem, whatever it's called. But yeah, skeletons and SRS popcorn builds are gonna be much more viable in Blight. So the next build is kind of my first proper Spectres build. Well, proper because I never really liked Spectres before, and I specifically wanted to do Spectres build because of Spectres that have suppressing fire, and suppressing fire, as you can see in here, they do lower enemy range attack speed and cast speed. So I wanted to focus everything on slowing enemies down as much as possible. So temp chain, chill, aspect of the spider for hinder, and then the suppressing fire. I was slowing enemies down so much, in fact, that I even had issues with tier 6 elder fight. I'm gonna show you in a moment. This is Phoenix, and look at how slow Phoenix becomes. The biggest the end game bosses like tier 16 Guardians, Shaper, Elder, Uber Elder, they cannot be fully slowed, and the reduced action speed on them caps at 30%, so you cannot drop them below that. Now the Elder fight, the tier 6 Elder fight, I believe. So I was clearing the portals, and after the portals you have to defeat the Elder. And I believe I slowed him down so much that it kind of got stuck in those phases, and those expanding novas kind of started overlapping, and I had nowhere to run, and all the projectiles, all the other things, it was basically impossible to finish with this. I even had to switch to other build to complete this. Against biggest bosses like Shaper, there was also an issue where, well, Shaper laser, look at how long the laser, how long the laser phase is, because of how much slower he is. But that can also be an issue, because I thought that it's gonna be good, I'm gonna be slowing everything is gonna be slow, but bosses with phases are actually bad. If you slow them down, the phases are gonna be longer. It's not always good to slow down bosses, so yeah, there we go. And the last one is not really about the build, but it's about the challenge, and the most challenging build I ever did. It was 1 HP build. I did 4 video series from highlights from the stream, and basically I had 1 life. I wanted to have 1 life, no cheating, and then just, you basically, if you get hit, you're dead, like you're dead. And I actually managed to do Merciless Lab, well, Act 10 Merciless Lab. I did all tier 16 Guardians, some of them were deathless, and it was really refreshing to see what actually, how many things can actually hit you without even you being able to dodge it. This one was funny. I died but still kind of tried to run away. So it was also refreshing because it's kind of a different approach to the game. You normally don't notice many things, so everything was scary. Even battles, I died so many times to battles in lab. It was kind of funny. Overall, it was just kind of refreshing to do this challenge and being afraid of everything right from the Act 2, because if you get hit you die. And I had like almost capped dodge with flasks and around 50-30 block. So if I fail to dodge and if I fail to block, I'm dead. In the end, I also tried the Shaper, but Shaper has 4 mini bosses before that, and you get random them. And if you get the bad ones, like the Reso with the spinning blades, it's almost guaranteed death, and even a couple deaths, because it's very hard to dodge those spinning blades because they appear out of nowhere. And in the end, I gave up on Shaper. I tried the Shaper. Shaper itself would not be an issue, but going through enemies between Shaper stages, it was very stressful, and I gave up. So yeah, if you haven't seen that video series and want to see me suffer, do check it out. And there are a couple other builds that I didn't even mention. Let's see, I started the Legion with the Cyclone, Crit, Impale, Slayer. By the way, we do know that exactly how Cyclone is getting nerfed. It's getting nerfed, the base damage and the AoE is gonna be static, doesn't scale with your weapon range. Well, it still scales, but it doesn't get plus radius anymore. So Cyclone is still gonna be fine, I think. It's just not gonna be insane AoE as before. And Cyclone is still gonna be good for League start if you don't want to do minions or mines or poison. Actually, even with poison, Cyclone can be good next League. What else did I do? I did the Reckoning that we don't talk about. Dual Strike. That was kind of decent lead speed, but kind of bad for bossing. Then I did Chains of Command. That was annoying. Against Legion, the animated weapons kept dying. It was just annoying. One Strike Berserker. It was kind of alright, but nothing too fancy, nothing too special about it. The 3000 strength build was just a showcase. And just to challenge myself to see if I can stack that much. Wouldn't recommend doing that exactly. Then we got Infernal Blow Ignite Infernal Blow. This one was kind of cool, but overall I would not recommend doing this. The clean speed was alright, but the single target was kind of iffy. It's kind of weird because you need to stack 6 hits, and on the 6th hit it does big explosion, and that big explosion does bigger ignite damage. So that was the idea of that build, but in the end it wasn't really that good. It just was different because you don't normally go with attack ignites or melee ignites. You can still do range ignites just fine. Next I did Soul Tether, Unleash Blighting. It was kind of alright as well. It had like I believe up to 2 million damage per full unleash, so it was kind of alright, but in the end it was nothing too fancy. The Soul Tether was interesting, but other than that, nothing too fancy. I will probably post one more video before New League, or maybe even like Fury Crafted session or something like that. But other than that, yeah, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna link all the cool builds that I mentioned in video description, and you can also find them at the end of this video in the playlist, Legion playlist. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.